Hey guys. Oh, let me get this thing situated. Hey you guys, how's it going? This is Fabio coming back with another video. I'm sorry it's probably pretty late, so a lot of my viewers probably won't be on this live. But I want to go ahead and get it off. While I'm thinking about it, I wrote a few things down because, as you guys know, I get all type of emails from all sorts of people, right? So I wrote a few things down, some of which I probably spoke about before. Um, some of the stuff it's probably been some time since I spoke about, but needless to say, we're gonna go ahead and get it off, okay? Um, the first thing I want to talk about, you guys, is dealing with relationships in business. I seem to get that question asked a lot, and specifically, people want to know about my relationships, right? My personal, relationships. I mean, romance, right? Not business relationships. They want to know, Fabio, are you in a relationship? If so, how do you handle it? So forth and so forth. The thing is that I date, but it seemed like the vast majority of the type of women that I bump into, they can't really necessarily relate to what it is I'm trying to do, what it is I'm trying to build. Okay. Um, the cool thing about it is that I generally tell them, what it is I'm doing, how I go about to do it. And the reality is a lot of people aren't able to deal with the type of mentality like real entrepreneurs have. And you guys might be able to identify with this. Like if you starting your cleaning business or you starting in any business, you know that the infant stage is it's paramount that you give that a lot of attention. It's like, and I always use the baby as an example. When a baby first get here, the baby first born, right? You got to give the baby a lot of attention, right? You got to pretty much watch the baby 24 hours, 7 days a week, so to speak, right? You got to make sure everything is up to par with the baby. The same thing with your business, right? The same when you first getting in off the ground, you got to give your business an incredible amount of attention. And sometimes when you're in a relationship, whether you just met someone or whether you're in a relationship and you started a business while you was in the relationship, a lot of times that's not the most easiest thing to balance, right? Most entrepreneurs would tell you that a lot of times their personal relationship with whomever they're dating or they're with or the marriage or whatever the case, a lot of times they take a hit because everybody don't understand the vision. Everybody don't see what it is you see, right? So the thing is, when people ask me for relationship advice, I'm not this relationship counselor at all, but the advice I give isn't necessarily, I would say, the best advice, because I understand that in order for me to be ultra successful to the way that I want to be, I understand it's going to take a real strong woman to be able to stand behind that, right? And I use this all the time when I meet females and I'm dating. A lot of times is, Fabio is in such high demand, and I don't say that in an arrogant way, but they want a lot of attention, and for the most part, I'm just not able to give them that type of attention that they want, right? Because I'm steady trying to build something, build something, build something. I've been doing it for so long. I built my business up, my little brand up. I built myself up. And I feel like if I give too much energy elsewhere, then I don't have enough energy to concentrate and to focus on the business, right? So now don't get me wrong, if you're married or if you're in a relationship, not by any means am I telling you to just disassociate yourself, right? But if it comes to a point where you have this dream, you have this goal, you want to be successful, whether it's cleaning business, hair salon, whatever the case is, right? You have this dream, you have this goal, and you don't have a partner that's willing to work with you, get to understand your business, get to really partnership with you, understand where you're coming from and why you work so hard, understand exactly the ins and the outs of your business. I'm afraid to say that that business will ultimately probably take a hit, right? Because if you really entrepreneurial, right, you're really goal oriented, you're really driven, right, by the success that you wish to have, you're going to spend infinite amount of time, hours and time trying to build this thing, right? It's just going to be through the roof what you're trying to do, and your partner might not be able to identify with that. So you can either a kind of be selfish and try to balance that, or you can recognize it early and just let your partner know, hey, this isn't going to work out. This is what I want to do. This is my plan. This is what I intend to do. And either you're going to be with this and kind of help me build on this, and we kind of create this dream that we always wanted to have, or whatever the case is, or I'm gonna have to disassociate myself from you, or I'm gonna have to fall back from you. Okay. And that's not the most, I mean, especially when you love someone, right? So again, I'm not trying to tell anybody to break up with their significant others, but it's a real serious thing. It comes a time where you balance your relationships with your business. And I tell females all the time, I'm not the best at that. I'm not the best at balancing that, right? But I do know that I want to become ultra successful. I really want to be really, really successful. So I understand anybody that deal with me almost have to have an entrepreneurial type of mindset, right? I tell females all the time, if you're looking for a 9 to 5 guy, I'm not him, right? Because I stay up late hours. I'm reading, I'm going over paperwork, I'm checking emails, I'm dealing with the social media, and I understand that you do have to give your significant other some attention. But the way I'm built and the way I'm set up right now, I don't think I have a whole lot of time to do that, right? And I just don't have a lot of time for that. So to answer the questions of the individual that email, how do I handle relationships and business, when, it's like they're breathing down your neck, I don't, right? I meet a female, let them know, what my intent is and what I expect and, what I'm doing. And I give them the opportunity to say if they can deal with that. If they can deal with it, come on, let's see where it goes, right? If they can't deal with it, then I totally understand. I'm not going to stalk them. I'm not going to be anything extra, right? I'll just let them go by their way, and I continue to do what I do. Okay, so hopefully I answered that for the few individuals, because I get asked that all the time. How do I handle relationships and business? Moving right along. Point number 2 I want to talk about. I think I want to just run this right into what I was talking about, kids. A lot of people ask me, Fabio, I just feel bad when I don't spend enough time with my kids, or, I'm already working and then I'm trying to do this business. And, it seemed like my kids are acting out in school, or they just acting out around the house. I feel like I'm not giving them enough attention. And I've had guys and females alike tell me this. The thing is, you can't treat the kids, unfortunately, how you treat an adult, right? You can't just say, well, you got to go by your way, or I'm going to do me, you do you, right? You can't do that, because you owe a certain obligation to the kids. But here's the thing. And sorry about that. Here's the thing. And I don't have any kids, but here's the thing. You can always incorporate your kids into what it is you're doing. Educate them along the way. They don't have to be in the background. They don't have to play, the background. You can always bring them in, right? With just little small things. I don't care if they're just real young, right? You're just getting them to talk. You can kind of read little stories to them, right? You can start doing little things, right? And then as they grow, they'd be better equipped for the entrepreneurial world. Even if they don't even want to be entrepreneurs, that's fine. They don't have to be entrepreneurs, but at least they have some level of understanding about entrepreneurship, right? About running a business, right? Because they'll feel like, I got that from my dad. I got that from my mom. My mom used to own a business. My dad owned a business. My mom, right? So they have some level of understanding. So that's what I would suggest. Most people I talk to have, maybe younger kids, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, preteens, teenagers. And those are the perfect years, a perfect time to incorporate your children into what it is you're doing. Okay, one second, guys. So And that's what I would suggest you guys to do for those that might have children, if they're not too young, right? Um, Incorporate them in what you're doing. Give them a certain level of duties, right? Because as you teach them, they're learning, right? And you better equipping them for the entrepreneurial world if they decide to go into entrepreneurship as they get older, right? Okay, so number three, what I want to talk about is being. A lot of people say, Fabio, how do you deal with the notion of being scared and intimidated by the contact person? And here's the thing, because early on, and if you just joining me, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. But here's the thing: early on, I dealt with that a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I dealt with that a whole lot. I would go in, be pretty sure about my service and my capabilities, but there was a certain level of intimidation where I felt like, wow, look, and I'm looking around the building. I'm like, wow, where do I size up? I never cleaned a building like this before. Why me? Why would they hire me? And here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is where that self-confidence, here's where that knowing your subject matter kicks in, right? When you're confident about your subject, you give off that type of aura, right? Like when the minute you walk in, it should be a certain level of confidence that they read right up and down you, right? It should be a certain level of confidence. If they can't read confidence, one second, guys. Sorry about that. If they can't read confidence, they can't read the confidence on you when you, from the time you walk in to the time you walk out, then they're not going to really be too confident about hiring you, right? It's got to be a certain level of confidence that you have, okay? You should not allow anybody to intimidate you whatsoever, because here's the thing: the person that make the decision isn't most of the time the owner. It is not the business owner. It's the person that the business owner have designated for somebody like you when you walk in the facility, right? So even though that they in a suit and tie, or they in a dress and it's name brand or whatever the case, if it's a woman, do not let anyone intimidate you. Know what you want. Know what you're willing to do for what you want, right? Be flexible in terms of your price and that type of thing, right? Keep an open mind, right? Be very assertive as to what they want you to do in terms of when you go in and do your walkthroughs. You're taking magnificent notes. You have everything to the T down, because again, when you go back home and write up the estimate, all of this is going to be key, right? And then, like I say, when you go in, make sure you present it in a very professional way. Make sure you let them know from your paperwork stand to the way that you look, way you smell. You want to have a level of certainty, like you're certain that you'll be able to complete the task. Because if you don't give off that aura, then they can read that up and down you, right? They can tell this person don't seem too confident, and then they're gonna hit you with well, we're doing callbacks, or we're just taking proposals now, or we're taking quotes now, where you want them to be able to make a decision and make a decision quick, right? Or even if they do have to look at other proposals or other numbers, you want to leave a profound effect on them, right? You want to leave just a absolute profound effect on them, where they do take these numbers, they do look at everybody else, but they keep thinking about you, right? It's just something about you that they like. It's something about you that make them think that they want to go with you, okay? So again, that's what I want to kind of push out there, so you guys can kind of get an idea. Don't let anybody intimidate you, right? You don't know them, they don't know you. The worst that they can do is not accept your numbers, or not accept you in terms of having you do a walkthrough, or letting you know that they have somebody, and then you leave the facility, right? So number 4, let me see here. Let me see. Here's the thing. Here's another thing too, guys. Number 4 is being scared to part from your money. Here's the thing. The cool thing about our business is many people in life will tell you it takes money to make money, right? I disagree with that. Okay, I disagree with that. For many cases, it does take some money, but a lot of times it just takes the brain power, it just takes the way you think, right? Because you could think yourself out of a situation. Like if you don't have any money, you can think of different avenues and different ways to come up with it, right? So even though you didn't have the money to expand a certain situation, you had the know-it-all or the brain power or the creativity to know how to be able to obtain the money, right? With me, especially with commercial cleaning, I say it's a great deal of sweat equity involved, right? I'm not talking about a franchise, I'm talking about when you're building it from the ground up. To me, it's more sweat equity than it is money. Okay, but like I said, you can't be afraid to part from some money. So whether you invested in something to grow your business, or you're investing in a consultation, or you're investing in a book, you're investing in a class, you're investing in a seminar, whatever it is you're investing in, you just want to make sure it's calculated. You don't want to just because you know you probably should do it, and this person is offering this class, you're just going to jump to this person's class, right? You want to feel comfortable about your decision to buy. You want to make sure in your mind that you feel you're making the right decision by purchasing from this particular person, okay? But you can't just hold all of the money and then say, you know what, I'm so scared to invest. I'm so scared to put money into my business because this money is going to take away from the money that I have, and I'm not going to be making no money right now because I don't have a contract right now. You can't have that mentality. You can't have that mentality, right? Like in the early on stages, it didn't take me a whole hell of a lot of money, but I'd invest a certain level of money, right? I bought a course, I bought some books about sales, right? I bought some other things, right? I bought some cleaning supplies, I bought some equipment, different things like that, and I didn't even have a contract. Right? Yet I had all of these things lined up in the event that I get a new contract, I'll be ready to go. Right? So again, like I say, a lot of this stuff is, I kind of self-taught myself, right? A lot of this stuff. But at the end of the day, I believed in myself enough, and the moves that I made with my money was calculated. So I didn't just throw money on a specific book, or I didn't just throw money at a specific seminar or a specific guru or a specific mentor just because, just to be doing it, right? Everything in the early stages was very calculated because the funds was limited. Does that make sense, guys? So again, you cannot be afraid to part from your money. You just have to make sure that it's calculated. You have to make sure you understand what you're getting for your buck, right? You have to understand that, nothing is guaranteed. And I tell people that all the time. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Every dollar that go out, it's a risk, right? Now, if you calculate it, you can kind of somewhat to a certain degree assure yourself that you're probably going to get a positive, return on it. You're pretty sure about it. You're not going to throw money in a situation that you have absolutely no idea how it works, what it does, and all of that stuff, right? You're not going to just throw money out there, right? But when you do invest money, you're going to have a pretty sure mind frame that you'll be able to turn that around, right? But again, nothing is guaranteed when investing money into any business, okay? Again, if you guys just joining me, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Moving right along here. Let's talk about other YouTubers, okay? Nobody specific, but let's talk about other YouTubers. I get people all the time to say, Fabio, I'm just so confused. There's just so much information about commercial cleaning on the internet. There's just so many different YouTubers out here. Fabio, you say one thing, another YouTuber say something else, another individual say something else. I just don't know where to start, and this is really holding me back because there's just so much information, right? And I truly don't know where to start. Here's the thing. And I tell people this all the time, and I think it lines up in one of my other points here. There's no one way to do commercial cleaning, okay? Now, it's one or two ways that you can do it. You can take a little from each person, right? So if it's three YouTubers that you like, that you always watch their videos as it relates to commercial cleaning, you got your three favorites. You could pull a little from each person, right? Because it might be something that one individual is talking about that the other individual isn't talking about, but the other individual might have something that they do that this individual don't do, right? So you can kind of pull from different people. The only thing is execution, right? So even though you might be taking notes and you might be watching 2, 3, 4, 5 different YouTube subjects, right? And you're taking notes from all of us. You take notes, you pull the information that's usable, that you feel that you can adapt in your business, and then you execute on that, okay? Or what you can do is just follow one YouTuber that you feel comfortable with. You understand? So you follow one YouTuber that you feel comfortable with. You know, if you feel a certain level of you're attracted to a certain YouTuber in terms of his or her information, and you say, you know what, I just like how this person comes off. I like this person. I think I'll deal with this person, right? Then deal with that one person. If you feel that that person is being successful, that person is being honest with the information, the person is giving you detailed information, they're not giving you just, vague information, then go with that individual. And that way you don't have to deal with 2, 3, 4 other individuals, right? I understand in the research process, right? You're trying to figure this thing out. You're trying to figure why you want to start a business, and when you start the business, what you should look for and what you should look at. So therefore, that just become a part of your research. But as you research and become overwhelmed by the whole idea of starting the cleaning business, then that might be a point, a time for you to narrow it down to just one individual, right? Now, I'm not going to say just that one individual know everything, but if you feel a level of attraction to that individual, if you feel like you just gel with the way they come off, you gel with the information that they give you, then just use that individual. I have people all the time that email me, they say, Fabio, I watch other individuals because I like to learn. I like to hear what other people are doing, but I feel more attracted to your videos, right? I adapt your philosophies, or I adapt the way you run the business, or, the way you explain it, it comes across better than when other individuals explain it. Or some people that tell me, this particular individual is kind of vague, and you kind of go into detail. You give examples and different things like that. Some people tell me, well, I don't trust this person because they just offering me to sign up on a subscription to their podcast or to their webinar or whatever the case is, right? So it's just different things. Now, I'm not the type of individual to knock anybody. That's just not what I do. But if you find you work better with the guy that offered the podcast, right? Or the guy that offered the webinar or whatever the case, then follow that individual, right? You don't have to follow 2, 3, 4, 5 different people to try to pull some of the same information. If you feel like you gel more with one individual, then follow that person. Try to talk to that person. Try to get better acquainted with that person. Pick that person's brain a little bit, right? Just adhere to their way of doing things, I guess, right? And if it worked for you, fine. If it don't, again, you can always adapt, right? You can always adapt. Whatever don't work for you, hell, it don't work. You just don't use it. Whatever they say that do work, you're using it, you keep doing it. It's part of building your system, okay? So again, that's what I feel about the different YouTubers. I think a lot of you guys make it a big deal because it is so much information out here on the internet as it relates to commercial cleaning, residential cleaning, window washing, etc., etc. And you just become overwhelmed with it, right? Like I say, find one person that you like, follow them, or if you're going to follow multiple people or deal with multiple people, then just extract certain information from each individual that apply to you or that you feel you can execute on and build your business from, okay? Let me see here what else I have. This like really the last one here. There's no right or wrong way to run this business. Go with your gut at all times. Make sure you're comfortable with the decision. Yeah, I kind of spoke on that already. So, and I tell people all the time, go with your gut. Go with your gut. Like sometimes people say, well, Fabio, I want to do residential and I want to do commercial. I'm leaning more to residential, but for whatever reason, I just started a commercial cleaning service. Well, if you're leaning more towards residential, why didn't you start the residential? Why didn't you go with the residential? Right? If that's where your heart is, that's where you feel like you'd be the most successful, why didn't you start there? Why did you start with commercial? You see what I'm saying? So if you guys feel comfortable with one part or the other, I would suggest that you start there, because 9 times out of 10, that's where you're going to be your most successful. That's where you're going to make the most. You're going to, you're going to run off on the plug, so to speak. You're going to run off and start winning with that particular niche within our industry. Okay, and then you can always come back to commercial, window wash, whatever the case is. You can always come back to other things once you get in a certain level of success, just in your one little niche market. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you guys, man. I didn't really want to make this too long, but I did want to get this live off because, again, I get asked a lot of questions. Mainly, it's about how to pick up contracts or staying enthusiastic during the process of starting up and getting contracts and marketing, that type of thing. A lot of people are giving up in the first 30 days, the first 60 days, right? They're not even making it to 90 days. Okay, again, guys, I've gave you a lot of motivation over the course of the last few months. I gave you a lot of examples of why you should keep going. The only thing that I could possibly tell you now is that you have to want it more than anybody else. You have to absolutely want it. You can't allow anybody to convince you not to do this business if your heart is there. If you're doing this business just because it's easy money or someone told you should do it because it's low overhead or whatever the case, I don't think that's valid enough, right? Because if you got a skill set, let's say in tech, right? Building computers or whatever the case, dealing, putting together software, and that's where your skill set is, then why would you run a commercial cleaning company when you have a skill set in software, which means you know how to build software, you know how to write code or do programming, right? Why start a commercial cleaning business? You'll probably be your best entrepreneur becoming a software company or dealing with software. Okay, but there's a lot of people on my live. They're very fantastic. They're good at hair, and I talk to a lot of different people, mechanics, guys is on my live that they're good at fixing cars and different things like that. But they say, well, Fabio, I was looking up different businesses and I came across you, and I was listening to you, man, and it sound pretty good, man, and I think I could really do this based on the way you explain and stuff. I think I could really do it. Well, you don't want to do something just because you stumbled across something. You want to have a vision and execute on that vision. Okay? If you're good in automotive, if you're good at software development, then I would suggest that you go and do that, because that's where you have a little bit of passion. Right? That's where your passion is. You're always going to do well where your passion is. Right? Here's the thing. You can be good at fixing cars, but want to start a commercial cleaning business and not make no money in the cleaning business, drop out of the cleaning business, go and do cars and make a fortune. Well, why didn't you just do cars from the start? Right? That's where your specialty is. The thing is, you was looking for opportunity. You came across a guy like Fabio Hart. I explained it. It sounded pretty easy, sound doable. Based on me explaining and then talking to you about it, you convince yourself that you can do it. So you set aside the automotive, or you set aside your software development, and you wait for commercial cleaning, right? Just because it sounds simplistic the way I explain it, or how I come across on the videos. Okay, you don't want to do it for that reason, guys. If you specialize in one thing, go after that, right? And really go after it with great intent. Right? With the intentions on making it successful, right? Put a lot of energy behind that. Okay, and I'm willing to gamble that you'll make an absolute fortune. I'm willing to gamble if you put your passion, if you put your force behind that thing that you deem is the best ever, whatever creation, whatever it is, whatever industry, you're gonna make a lot of money there. You're gonna make a lot of money there. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to put out here. If you guys want to ask me the questions, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and answer them. But you do want to stay focused, guys. I know it's coming to time now. The seasons is changing across the country. The weather is becoming a lot better out. We don't have really any cold days. So it's allowing you to really get out and really hit the ground running, going door knocking. A lot of people ask me about. A lot of people ask me about the I lost my train of thought. The cold calling. Again, the only way you become successful at that is if you just do it, right? You got to just keep doing it. You got to make a lot of phone calls, right? You can't make 20 calls today or 100 calls today and say, "Woof, I put in a lot of work." That's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it, and you have to do it multiple days, right? You have to continue to do it. That's the only way I became better. You guys think that I just like to hear the word no or like to be hung up on? No. But I understood that, let me adjust the script. Let me make the script work for me. Right? So I adjust. Jesus Christ, my phone's just going crazy. So I adjust my script a little bit. I make it work for me. And boom. There you go. But it happened over time. I stayed consistent. And then it just happened in 24 to 48 hours. And it happened in a week. And it happened in a month. Right? So again, you guys have to stay consistent. If you know my story, you guys know I wanted to get my first contract in the first 60 days. I wound up getting my first contract in the first 90 days. But what would have happened if I just stopped at the first 60 days? I said, you know what? I want to get an account in the first 60 days. I didn't get the account in the first 60 days. Then I probably wouldn't be able to give you guys as much information that I've given you over the past few years or so. Right? Because through my trial and error and my persistency of just staying persistent and getting out there and doing what I'm supposed to do, I was able to turn what I thought would never really happen for me into a real life deal, right? A real deal thing, right? So again, I didn't even really back then even see myself making 5 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand. I didn't see myself making that type of money. I'm like, okay, I'll probably make a few $100, this and that, right? But then once I get the first check, I was like, you know what, I can do this. It instilled some level of faith within myself that I could do it. So I started picking up more contracts. I stayed persistent. I stayed going at it because I'm like, man, if I could turn this 3 to a 6, this 6 into a 9, this 9 to a 12, 16, so forth, I can really build this thing up. And that was my mentality. But I taught myself to never, ever give up. To never, ever give up, because at the end of the day, no one was taking care of me. I knew in order for the lights to come on, before my phone bills to be paid, for me to put gas in the car, I knew that I had to be the reason. I knew that I had to be the reason. A lot of you guys, I talk to a lot of people, they have, some of the most incredible stories. I hear people there, parents it's ill, and their parents will stay in one state, they stay in another state, and they have to kind of commute, and the money is funny, and every other month, they're a little low on the rent, or they don't have enough to even get to work, to order the bus card or the whatever to get on the bus and get to work. And they're just like, Fabio, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of doing this. And you restore a lot of faith in myself that I can do it. But when I ask them, well, what have you done since I restored the faith in you that you can do it? What have you done? They say, to be honest, Fabio, I really haven't been doing anything. So I restored the faith in you that you can do it, but you haven't executed on that, right? So again, that it just doesn't make sense to me. So I have to apply pressure to those individuals that I talk to. I have to get them to see a bigger picture and why it's very, very important that they do execute. Why it's necessary that they do execute. Okay. Feeling is kind of dialogue. I appreciate it. Keep it real. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, like I say, this is the thing that a lot of people. This is the thing that a lot of people go up against. This is truly the thing that really separate the losers from the winners. You have to kind of keep going. You have to. You have to. Giving yourself an excuse is giving yourself an excuse why not to get started. Why not? Why are you not going to win? So you're giving yourself an excuse not to win. Okay? Again, guys, you blinding yourself. You're blinding yourself. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? We hear that a lot. It sounds cliche, but it's true. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would do it. You know, I hear stories that they have it on the news and they say, oh, this guy scammed this guy and this guy is doing the credit card scam and this lady, she got busted. She had a prostitution ring and this and this. And you see this stuff on the news. And I just kind of sit back and I say, why in the hell did they go the illegal route when they could have went the legitimate route? And then as I sit and I think about everybody's situation in life is different. Everybody react to failure differently. Everybody react to just life different, right? So it's not meant for me to condemn somebody for doing something, you know, let's say fraudulent or they credit card scam or whatever they do, right? Check scam or prostitution, whatever the case is. It's not meant for me to condemn them for that, right? But what I will commend them for is the chance that they took. You know, I tell people all the time when I'm doing these public speaking venues and this, and I'm talking to people on public speaking, and it's very, very true. If you're going to do something illegal, just don't get caught. I don't promote it, but if you're going to do something illegal, just don't get caught. And when you get caught, stand 10-toed on it, right? Don't flip if you got co-defendants, right? I'm not trying to take this. I'm trying to be real honest and direct here in this life, but the thing is, a lot of times people can't weather the storm. People get in things and they can't hold it down themselves, right? But they did it for the quick buck. So be able to stand 10-toed on anything that you do, okay? But like I said, to get back to the point, they took a chance. Now, it didn't quite go the way that they wanted to go, right? They got locked up, whatever the case is. Now they in court. They got to deal with this stuff. But the fact of the matter was they took a chance. They wouldn't have even got that far had they not took a chance. Same thing for the guy that goes to play the lottery every single day. I mean, he panhandle. He got his Cash App on a sign. Yeah, they're getting real creative to play lottery these days, right? They do all of this stuff to go play $100 worth of tickets or $50 or whatever they made for the day, but they took a chance. It's a lot of other things that they probably should have did with the money, but they took a chance, right? The list can go on and on. You know, you got women, they like, I don't want to strip. I don't want to do this stuff. I don't want to sell, you know what, right? But when you ask them, well, why do you do it? They say, well, I got kids. A girl got to do what a girl got to do, and that's the only way that I know how to move right now. I don't have a job. I don't have a business. I don't have no one taking care of me. I got to do what I got to do. My baby daddy dead. I'm getting a check for him, but I only get that once a month. I done heard all the type of stories, and I can understand it. I can understand it, right? See, if you got to be able to visually put yourself in somebody else's shoes to be able to understand where they're coming from. And I do that very well. And I'm kind of thinking like, oh, I don't know if I would have done that had I been in their shoes. But I wouldn't say that I would have never done that. But I'm not saying that I would have done that, right? You just don't know what you would do until you put in certain circumstances. Okay, so how does this, what you're saying, Fabio, how does this all link in? All I'm saying is you have to be able to take a risk. In business, it got to be calculated. What is a calculated risk? That's where you assure yourself that I'm taking the right risk I feel good about this decision. I'm going to do it. I'm going to execute on it. And I'm going to hold myself accountable. A lot of people take risks and they don't hold themselves accountable. So when they don't win, it's everybody else's fault but theirs. Right? So people, like if you get on the coaching with me, or if I point you some certain type of direction, okay, it's a risk in everything that we do. But you have to hold yourself accountable. If I point you to the right and I say, well, yeah, you want to go right in this and this, I pointed you in the right direction. That's the direction that I would have went. I gave you the reasons behind why you should go right, everything above. You go right, it don't pan out, and then you say, well, Fabio told me to go right and it didn't work. So it's Fabio's fault that I wasn't successful. Are we an entrepreneur or are we employees? Employees place blame. That's what employees do. They place blame. They blame the supervisor that they can't get ahead. They blame everybody why they're getting this pay. Why am I getting this when the other worker's getting? They place blame. Entrepreneurs fix problems. They identify what the problem is and they execute on that problem to turn that negative into a positive. Entrepreneurs, they turn a negative into a positive. They don't sit and ponder and think about everything that went wrong. They don't. They feel like their time is valuable. A lot of us, we get a mistake in the business. Oh, they say I got to have insurance. Oh, they say this has to happen. This is a setback. It's always a way to navigate and move around something. Sometimes you have to bend the rules. I agree. You know, there's a lot of millionaires and billionaires. You read the stories, your Rockefellers, the Trumps. You read all about these people, right? And you say, oh, they went to court, they dealt with the Supreme Court, and they had this going on and that's going on. And your Mark Zuckerberg, and he's every week in Facebook trouble on the news, and it's on CNN and everything, right? So you have these different things. But Mark Zuckerberg don't say, you know what? We're at a real bash right now, right? The tabloids, we're all over the place. They blasting us. We're about to shut down Facebook. He doesn't do that. He has a public company. His company is public. What Mark Zuckerberg do is identify what the problem is and try to turn that negative into a positive. Right? He tried to turn that negative into a positive. Same thing with profit, loss, and profit rising. You have profits are down. You got to figure a way to get the profits up, right? So you might have to cut staff. You might have to bring this back. You might have to do your whole marketing plan. You might have to do a certain thing, a few certain things, right? But the ultimate goal is what? To raise the revenue, right? You're at a low point now. The goal is to raise the revenue. Real estate investors do it all the time. They'll take a loss. They put the property on the market. The property is too high. It's been on the market for 13 months. They haven't got as many inquiries about that property. So what do? They drop the price. That's not the price that they wanted to sell it for, but they dropped the price because they're not getting the traction from this particular property that they want to get. So they drop the price. So they make certain moves, guys, is what I'm saying. You guys have to be able to position yourself. My dad always told me scared money can't win. He always told me scared money can't win. How do you know if you're going to hit the jackpot if you never go to the casino and play? How do you know if you're going to hit the jackpot if you never go to the casino and play? Again, guys, you have to be risk takers. And I noticed, I know you're like, I heard him say that. I have to keep saying this because those are some of the emails that I get. Those are a majority of the emails that I get. You think I'm better than you? I'm not. Cut my hand right now, and cut your hand, and hold your hand up and hold my hand up. We're gonna bleed the same color. We might be different blood types, but we're gonna bleed the same color. Right? The only thing that separates me from you is not the fact that I went to college and you didn't, or you went to college and I went to college, or what I know and what you know, or where I'm from and where you're from. That has nothing to do with it. The only thing that separates me from you is how I utilize my 24 versus how you utilize your 24. It's how I execute on a problem instead of, this ain't working, this is unfair. I don't do, that's an employee mindset. Life is supposed to be fair. It's not going to be fair. It's going to be struggle in business. You identify what it is, and then you just turn it into a positive. It's not the end of the world. Again, that's the difference between me and so many other individuals. Meanwhile, I got other subscribers on here that's making a lot of money with commercial cleaning. They email me, hey, Fob, man, I miss, a couple months of your videos, man. I used to hit them hard, but I done took so many notes, man, and I done watched so many of your videos. To be honest, man, I just had to get started, and I went to your coaching. I did your lead generator. I bought this. I did that. I ordered this person's stuff. I ordered somebody else's stuff, and this, that, and the third, man. And I just kind of pulled what I could pull from, some of everybody, man, and I just made the shit work. That's the type of stories that I like to hear. He didn't say, oh, I bought this book, it didn't work, man, and it just discouraged me. Or I was on your coaching call, man, and I did your coaching call, and, what you said, it didn't work for me. So, man, I just decided it wasn't mine. He didn't say that. But I get stories like that. I get stories like that. But why not you? Why not you? Do you believe that you deserve to be successful, or do you just think success is for somebody like me? I'm a work in progress, guys. I'm not to the point where I want to be, but I'm going to keep going. I don't get complacent. I don't say, well, my company's almost does $500,000 in revenue, so I'm on some type of pedal. I don't know. Comfort is the enemy of achievement. It's when you get so comfortable that you do nothing. I was watching an interview with Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne have multi-platinum hits. Hit after hit after hit after hit. His catalog is through the roof. It's long. But the reporter or whatever asked Lil Wayne, what's your mentality when you go into the studio? And he said his mentality is the same as it was when he first started in the industry. He approached it the same way. He said he was aggressive in the very beginning because he wanted to be the best. He wanted to be successful. He knew he could rap and he wanted to make it work for him. So he said every time he approached the booth and every time he go in there, he had the same type of mentality as if he was just first starting out. Again, he could have said, I'm Lil Wayne. I got a platinum status in the industry. I'm the GOAT. Everybody know who I am. I'm just going to relax. No, Lil Wayne said he's going to approach it the same way as he did when he first started. As if he didn't make these hits. As if he didn't generate millions of dollars for cash money. You guys see where I'm going with that? You have to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent. Let's take Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods just won the tournament. I'm not a golfer. I don't get into that. But I was watching the news and I see where he just won the Masters. But I do remember a time a few years or so ago, maybe more than a few years ago, when he lost. And they asked Tiger what happened. I lost my cool. He said he had a lot going on, in his head, and certain family members was ill and different things. He had certain personal problems. He didn't blame anybody, but he just said it was his fault. He said he didn't do what he knew he could do. But why didn't Tiger Woods give up back then and then just recently win the Masters? That's because Tiger Woods think different. Tiger Woods moved different in his 24 than you. Tiger Woods didn't say, well, I didn't win it last time, so it's not meant for me. Tiger Woods kept going. Kept training. Have you guys seen Tiger Woods? He don't look the same as he used to look, right? He aged a little bit, right? Picked up a little weight. He looks a little different. But he went on and made it happen. He went on and made it happen. He didn't give no excuses back then, and he damn sure didn't give no excuses for winning. But he let his work ethic take over. Again, guys, I can give you 1,000,001 scenarios like this. At the end of the day, it all comes to they take action. They believe in themselves. They believe within. And they execute. They execute. They execute. I truly believe that Michael Jordan could come out of retirement at 50, 60, whatever his age is now, and really still run rings around the younger guys. Why do you say that, Fabio? I say that because I think Michael Jordan's mind would tell him something that his body might not be able physically to be able to do. But if his mind say he can do it, he can do it. If his mind say he can do it, he can do it. And then he's gonna react on that. He's gonna work like that. He's gonna train like that. Because that's the way that's the way he trained his mind. I truly believe that. Now, I'm not saying he's gonna be the same Michael we remember. He might move a little slower. His dribble might be a little off, and this and this. And he'll get it together, though. But once he settles himself in his mind, there's no stopping him. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Got super sick for the last 3 weeks. End up in the hospital. Why applying for some programs to help pay the hospital bill? I realized I needed to go, and I'm already making almost $10K a month. I just realized that I'm making. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm saying, Leon. It's defying the odds. Defying the odds. A lot of people give up. Now, I'm trying to tell you, I can't make this up. I get the emails. I get the stories all the time. My assistant, Jasmine, she'd be more touched than me. Fabio, I want you to read this email. I'm going to go ahead and forward it to your... she'll read it to me right off her laptop. Read it to me. She's really touched by it. You know, it's people that's in a situation now. I got just, what was it, yesterday? No, it must have been Monday. Monday got me all worked up. The guy, he says, man, I have at least probably about $3,000 just waiting on me, but I don't have a contract. I don't have a contract. I have some other paperwork, but I need a solid contract, man. I watch your videos and stuff. Like, is it anything that you can do? I don't have. I say, well, did you? He was like, I did my estimate. And they want me, but I don't have a contract, Fabio. What is it? It's something that you can do, man. Like, I know your heart is full of gold, man. I know it's something that you full of love. I know it's something that you can do to just work something out for me. I say, well, you know, my agreement went up in terms of price, but I say I could try to work something out. I say, if I was to offer you the agreement today as a down payment, which I never do the down payment thing, right? I say, if I offer you the agreement today where you can pay X amount down and pay a portion at another time, what would be that down payment? He was like, well, first, how much would you sell it to me for? Once I told him that, we worked out that, and it's pretty safe to say that he made a partial payment, and his next payment is going to come very, very soon. I won't kind of go over to the details. I don't like to do that, but his other payment is going to come really, really soon. But because of his voice, because of talking to him, because of his email, he touched Jasmine. Jasmine read it to me. She was like, we got to do something. They're watching your videos. The guy, he has his own estimate sheet and, you know, whatever he put this bid in. And he say, man, I got at least $3 grand on the table, but I don't have nothing to close it because I don't have an agreement. But I heard the enthusiasm in his voice. He's excited, but at the same time, he's like, I'm scared. I don't know what to do because I've been watching your videos. I've been trying to do this, man. And I got at least about $3 grand on the table. And we worked it out. Worked it out. He needed a contract quick. So I told Jasmine, go ahead and get it up for her, get them all set. We took the down payment for the agreement. And I said, we're going to ship it out. We're going to send it express. We're going to ship it out next day. Get it next day out. Get it out to you next day. Okay, and this was Monday, so I'm sure he has it by now. Guys, again, but see, the thing was, if he wouldn't have contacted me, if he would have said, well, I know how much Fabio sell his agreement for, I'm not going to buy it because I know I can't afford it right now. He took a chance. He took a chance. He didn't know if I would be able to do something like that, but he took a chance. So I'm giving you guys all type of scenarios that, again, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, but you have to be very proactive. You have to, I can't want it more than you. I can call your phone, beat your phone line up. Hey guys, you need to do this. You need to do this. I can drill it in you. I can drill it in you. But if you're not willing to do anything with the information that I drill in you, you're not going to get anywhere. Your 2019 is going to look just like your 2018. Your 2020 is going to look like your 2019. You got to be sick of weak-ass Christmases where you can't do what you want to do. You got to be sick of the bills piling up. You think your employment is guaranteed? So you walk into your job tomorrow, you guys know what I'm about to say, and your boss hands you the white slip, the yellow slip, the pink slip. He said, we no longer need your service. What are you going to do? Do you got 6 months to a year worth of income saved up that'll be able to get you through the rest of the year, or at least 6 months from now? Do you have that? The vast majority don't, I'm sure. What are you going to do? Now you're facing eviction. Now you're facing repo. Sure, you might be able to apply for unemployment. But how far would that get you? By the time you buy a little groceries, put something on the light bill, you don't even have enough to really cover the rent. So you're still fucked. So why not take action now? Why not take action now? Why you got a job? Because it's not promised. Why not take action now? So I guess you guys just think your job is promised. So it's guaranteed that you're going to be there. No one can do your position like you can do your position, right? You feel like you can't be replaced because the boss like you. They give you more hours. Tell the boss no a few times and see what he says. Can you do overtime? No, I can't do it this time. Do you think you'll be able to stay over next week, Tuesday? No, I got a football meet with my son. I can't do it. Tell him no a few times to see how he started looking at you. Here it is, you done gave him the world. You done done as much as you could, and now you told him no 2 or 3 times. He can't work with you. He's upset. What are you gonna do? You have a job. Utilize the funds. I done did videos on it. I told you guys how to balance the income from your job and really kind of live off of it and kind of penny pitch a little bit and put some into the business. Some people, Fabio, I can't even register my business because I don't have the money for that. Okay, I totally understand. You have a job? Yeah. How much is it in your state to get the LLC? I think it's $300. I say, okay, well, why not take You don't have to take 300 out of this check. Why not just take 150 out? Break it up. Take 150 out, or 150 and put 150 up, and then take another 150 out. Back in the day, before these prepaid phone cards, not phone cards, prepaid like Rush Card, NetSpend, all of that. Before that, guess what I used to do? Guess what I used to do to save money before I even had a bank account? And I learned this from a guy in my college. He used to do this. The guy came. He was Arab, right? So he pretty privileged or whatever. What happened was his family had money. They owned businesses, gas station stores, etc. Whatever it was he was doing, his family didn't agree with him. They cut him off. They cut him off. But what they didn't know is that he had these random increments of money orders. So he come to school, to the college. I'm talking to him. Yeah, man, my family didn't know I had this, man. So I got to get a job. I got to find a way to live, off this because my family cut me off. What you mean they not supporting me, man? They not giving me no more money and don't want me to work in the store, whatever the case is. They cut me off. This guy had one of them vanilla envelopes, them little long yellow gold envelopes, stuffed full of different increment money orders. I say, man, why you got a $50 money order here and you got a $200 money order? He said, that's how I was saving. I would put my money up because I didn't have a bank account. So I wouldn't spend it. I would turn it into a money order. Because I knew that I could always register a bank account and put the money in a bank account and just deposit all the money orders. I say, well, why you didn't just do that? Why you just keep getting money orders? He was like, well, did the research. I understand that money orders, you have up to a year to cash, which means you have up to a year to hold a money order. You have a year before that expired. You have up to a year to cash it. That was strategic. So I took that as a game plan for myself. When I was like working paycheck to paycheck, that was my way of saving. So if all fail, I would have these money orders that I could really turn into real cold cash, but that was my way of saving. I wouldn't write on them. They would just be blank. The little receipt attached to it and I wouldn't detach it or anything. I would just get it and hold on to it. And to be honest, that helped me get a car. It helped me do a lot of things when I was working paycheck to paycheck. But I just adapted philosophy and it worked for me. But again, I did something, guys. I did something. See, again, guys, you guys have to, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Not even your job. Not even your husband. If you got a good boyfriend, you got a good husband, he's handling the bills right now, he's taking care of everything. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, what happened if you do something that he don't like? What happened if he find a girl that look better than you? That he's been cheating on you with. Now you feel like you cut between a rock and a hard place. And I know I seem like I'm going over, but I got to hit you guys because this is everyday shit. You don't hear this on a lot of different, lives on YouTube. This is everyday shit, guys. This happened to everybody USA. From your most prominent people that have money. Look at Wendy Williams' situation. We heard, you heard about Wendy Williams? For the most prominent people to the little guy. Or the little lady. It happens. Again, guys, you gotta start thinking. If you got a job, again, stop goofing off your money. Stop goofing off your money. Stop goofing off your money. Save a little. Save a little. Or just take that money and invest it directly into your business. You need business cards. You need this. You need to register your business. You need to save for insurance, or you need to save to whatever you got to take care of. And then a lot of you guys, you forget when I get on the conference call, I say, hey, make sure you save this. I can show you how to write this off as a business expense on your taxes. I saved a lot of people. Went through my lead generation and bought paperwork as business expense. You could write it off. So when you buy something for the business, you keep the receipt and write it off. I don't know, guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut this short. If you guys don't see it now, I don't know what to tell you. I can't be more passionate about your business than you are. I can help you. I can get you on a coaching. I can do all these different things for you. But you have to be the one to make the ship go. All I'm doing is putting the fuel in it. I'm filling it up, but the ship won't go nowhere with me filling it up and you just letting it sit. You're going to have to get behind and steer and make the ship take off. You're going to have to drive it. The ship is not going to go nowhere with me just filling it up and you just letting it sit. You're sitting on a full tank of fuel, but you're scared to take off. Where that's going to get you. It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. And I'm trying to hit you because, again, I got a set of individuals who's making a great deal of money watching my channel. And then I got a certain individuals who I talk to consistently who say it's not working. If you can't change the people around you, then you have to change the people around you. If you got negative people around you, get them from around you. Fabio, there's no money in my area. Switch states. I did it. I'm not even from America. I'm from Canada. Right? So I come to Canada. I stayed in New Orleans. Stayed in Houston. Stayed in Virginia. Michigan. Ohio. Georgia. I've been all around in the U.S. at least twice, including Puerto Rico and Hawaii. And I don't say that to brag and boast, but again, you got to take a chance. You got to take a chance. I didn't say, oh, well, my dad never took me. My mom never took me here. You're grown. If you want to go to Florida, you ain't never been in Florida when you was with your mom and your dad. You grown. Now it's time for you to get out and start making moves. Guys, I'm going to leave you with this here. As I always say, the only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you. If you need my assistance on anything, whatever the case is, you email me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com. I don't talk for free. Well, I'll put it this way. Unless you say something so compelling and it touches my assistant, Jasmine, and she say, hey, you need to call this person. Other than that, guys, you guys know the protocol with me, because I get tired of helping people out. They do nothing with the information that I give them for free. So then I find myself charging them, and then they wound up doing something with it. It's amazing. They'll do something with it when they pay me, but when I just kind of give it to them like I hear on the video, they do absolutely nothing. I sure hate if YouTube ever crashed my YouTube crash and I lose my videos and things like that. A lot of you guys be up the creek without a paddle, right? But if you take this knowledge, you take this info that I'm imputing into you guys, you use it. Everything may not be for you that I talk about, but something is. Use it. Take care, guys. Love you all.